Hello and welcome to Starside Chat. I'm Zach and joining me is Aaron.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. I'm excited to do episode 2.
The Phantom... Nope. Wait. That was episode 1. What would
Clone
this
Wars.
be? Oh, yeah. Let's not
No, Attack of the
subtitle
Clones
it.
is what it was called.
Yeah, let's not subtitle it. Either of those things. So, we're still sort of finding our footing, but excited to keep doing these.
Very true. There's excitement in the air.
There is. Also spring, maybe.
Not according to this weekend. I guess this will date this. And also, actually, a majority of the world does not care about this, but it snowed a lot this weekend. It was terrible.
It did. It was pretty awful. But yeah. No more snow. Let's have spring.
Hurrah! Huzzah!
Anyway, let's talk about the news this week.
Sea of Thieves is out, and we were right. It sucks.
Sea of Thieves has not been getting great reviews. And we did a lot of the things we talked about, our main fears for the game, have turned out to be true.
It's impossible to talk about this game and not say the word shallow, which is a real shame. But it's a shallow gameplay experience. I keep hearing, like, the number one metaphor I've heard is, like, it is an ocean, but the ocean is an inch deep.
Yeah, there's so many puns that you can make with this game. You can say it's too shallow. There's no hooks.
No depth.
It's you're gonna walk the plank, I guess. I don't know.
You're being robbed. It's $60.
That's true. They pirated my money away.
Ironically, I bet this is a game that's very difficult to pirate because it's a online persistent world.
Oh, that's true. But so the thing people have been saying is that it's the new No Man's Sky, where there was like a lot of hype for it, and it's this sort of sandboxy game, but there's just not a lot of depth to it. So, like, while it has enjoyed a lot of people playing it and kind of streaming it initially, I think there's going to be a hard fall off to that, and they're going to have to do some updates to get people back into it and to get people playing it longer.
Zach, you were famously pro No Man's Sky.
Was I?
You bought it.
Well, if that's being pro the game, I'm guilty of that with a lot of games. But yeah, so I liked it for the first like 5 hours maybe. And I think that's what I've heard a lot of people are saying about Sea of Thieves as well. Like for the first like 5 hours, it's pretty great because the graphics are great. It looks very, very pretty. It's very cool to jump on a ship and sail around with your friends and to get some treasure and level up your ranks with the different people and to get some new gear. But very shortly after that, like 4 or 5 hour mark, you realize that those same sort of boring fetch quest types of things are all you're going to be doing for the next like 50 hours or whatever it is. And
there's no dailies. There's no weeklies.
Yeah, there's none of that. So if you enjoy taking a cage and rounding up chickens
or
pigs, you're going to love Sea of Thieves, and you're going to be doing that for a long time.
Well, something that I think is not overhyped, or maybe it is, but Far Cry 5 will be out today.
That's true. It is out today.
You're playing it at midnight.
Maybe. It depends. I might need to go to bed, but I really want to play it as soon as I can.
I'm jealous. I got a physical copy being delivered tomorrow, but you are just downloading it like a pro.
Oh yeah. Did you pre-order it off Amazon?
Yeah, since I'm a Prime member, I don't really take advantage of this often because when I'm super into a game, I usually just like go to Walmart at midnight or download it so I can immediately start playing it. But I did not feel like a big rush to play this. I felt like I could wait a little bit. So when you're a Prime member, you get like $12 off pre-ordering games. And it's crazy too. Like if you go to the Amazon page for Far Cry, it's like a giant animated banner. Like they're really trying to lean into like, you need to buy your games here. Like it's very interesting looking. And so I decided to take advantage of that, and hopefully it will be delivered on game day, which is Tuesday.
I actually didn't know that. So you get, for pre-ordering at Amazon, you get like $12 off of a game?
Yeah, well, I think the banner ad was like, if you buy it on Amazon, this is only $48 and it's usually $60. But then like there's a little bit of tax involved, so it ends up being like slightly less. But it is like
That's still less than what you would pay elsewhere.
exactly, and free shipping.
So, but the problem I've heard with pre-ordering games from Amazon is that rarely do they deliver on time. So, like
Yes.
if you did want to like pre-order a game because you were really anxious to play it and you wanted to play it the day it came out when everyone else was talking about it and there was all this buzz around it, you might have to wait at least like a day or two in order to get it.
Yes, that would be terrible. And so I felt like this is a good game to test it out on because I am like medium excited for this game, but I'm not like chomping at the bit to play it like I was for like I'm trying to think of the last game that I went for midnight. I mean, like when the Switch came out, you and me waited outside at Best Buy.
It was
like
freezing cold.
It was freezing cold. We had just gone to see Logan, and we had to wait. I feel like there was another game we waited. Oh, it was Mario Odyssey. We went at midnight, got that. But yeah, I did not feel the need to do a midnight launch for this for whatever reason. So I just clicked literally one button on the Amazon app, and it's shipping to my office tomorrow.
I mean, these days I just prefer to pre-order the download, and then I can like preload it, and then it's just ready to go.
That is right a smart thing to do.
And I would have done that for the Switch so that we didn't have to stand out in the cold, but that's a piece of hardware, so you can't really download it.
When you're getting your stuff on literal pieces of flash, like it pays to get the little drive.
Yeah. So another, we can talk about Far Cry 5 more like during the week because I definitely want to play it and do some videos with it.
Yes,
I wouldn't
Very
mind.
excited for that.
I wouldn't mind doing like a let's play of it. I don't know if we'll get around to that or not, but I definitely want to do some videos with it. So
for sure.
The only thing is, I think so. You're getting it on PS4 and I have it on PC, so we won't be able to do co-op.
True, but yours will also look beautiful. I'm very excited to see your footage.
I'm excited to see it myself. So
I wonder if you'll be able to play it on Ultra. I bet you will be able to.
I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, another thing that it happened this week, or I guess last week, was PUBG Mobile finally launched in the US.
Yes, you downloaded it and you played a perfect game.
So yeah, I like 3 games in, I was matched with this random guy online whose name was like Noob something.
Ooh, but he wasn't a noob, it seems like.
Seems like not. We pretty much ran around. We didn't even hide very much. We just ran around and took everybody out and won the game. And so I uploaded the video of it to YouTube. The audio is pretty terrible because I don't have like an actual good way of recording mobile gameplay. I just have to rely on apps that will record whatever's on your screen.
Zach, let me say, I have so much respect for you getting a chicken dinner. I respect your skills so much. You're such a good player.
Yeah, I know you're building this up because of the next
Zach, I
piece
can't
of
imagine
news.
anything you could tell me that would make me respect you less. But go on.
I don't want to admit it. So it seems like there are probably bots in PUBG Mobile.
What? To what end, Zach?
I mean, they might be the most skilled bots we've ever seen in any game before. You never know. But so Kotaku put up an article about how mobile players are pretty sure that a good number of players in PUBG Mobile are bots. And the article talks about how if there's all these screenshots that people have put up where there's just some person just sort of standing there with a gun. And me and my brother have been playing a lot of PUBG Mobile, and we've definitely noticed that there are some either very stupid players or they have to be bots. They're most likely bots because we'll find these people that have nothing but shotguns on them, and they're just like standing out in the open firing off shots from long range with a shotgun. And so we'll pretty easily take them out, or like they'll shoot at us once and then just kind of stop and wait to die. So the reasoning they're thinking that there are bots in PUBG Mobile is because, one, you may need the bots in order to fill up the game because there might just not be enough players on.
Makes sense.
But also another possible reason is because they want people to get into it and to enjoy it and to keep playing it and to sort of build their skill slowly. So if people get in and they go up against bots, then they'll sort of start having fun because they're like, oh man, I'm really good at this game and I've already won. And
I actually think this is a great idea.
At first I was like, oh man, I've been delegitimized. My skill is no good. What was it all about? It was a lie. The win was a lie. But now more like I can see the logic behind it.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm okay with it. Plus, as you rank up and like the more experience you have, the fewer bots you'll see. And
interesting.
So
I like that it scales with you.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of like they slowly sort of let you feel like you're learning how to play the game by going up against bots, and then they kind of slowly remove the bots so that you can sort of adjust to taking on more human players. So I think it's actually a decent way to go about it.
I have not downloaded it yet because playing a game like that on my phone seems like it would be a terrible experience.
Well, you should try it.
If they enable like Bluetooth controller support, I would, but just like playing on a touchscreen seems terrible.
It's definitely not as good as just having like a Bluetooth controller. I'll give you that. I would much rather play it with a Bluetooth controller.
Mm-hmm.
But it's doable. You kind of learn how to do it and you adjust a little bit. But let's move on to the next piece of news.
Nindies.
Tell us about the Nindies.
I watched this live. Did you watch it?
I did not get a chance to. I think I was in school or something.
It's crazy because so there's stuff so Nintendo did a direct where they talked about all like some indie games that are coming to Switch in the summer and fall, and there were some good ones, but the best one they didn't even talk about. Like there were like 10 games, 10 or 11. There's a good number actually. They talked about, and we'll go through them. But like 2 hours after the direct was over, there was just like a news release that said, oh, also Hyper Light Drifter is coming out for Switch, which I think is the biggest deal. Like a lot of these were new games or like indie games that have existed but are being ported, and some of them look pretty cool, but like Hyper Light Drifter is just like such a good game. We did a video about it where I talked about how much I love it, but I don't know why it was not included in the Nindies showcase.
It seems like a weird omission for sure.
Very true. So let's go through these. There's a couple that are interesting. The Garage, or it's just called Garage, seems crazy. It sort of reminded me of Hotline Miami a little bit.
Or Nex Machina.
Yeah, similar to that. And they were like, this is a really messed up game. We can't even show you how violent it gets. So apparently it's like a zombie kind of survival, and it can get pretty gory. It seems like it's inspired by VHS B movies, and there's like a lot of crazy weapon variety. Other highlights, there was a crazy Adult Swim game called Pool Panic where you like played a cue ball, and the way you moved around and interacted with the world was there was just like a pool stick that you hit your cue ball with, but it was in a crazy like pool world. I'm not describing this well, but it seemed very interesting and unique. And then what else did they have? West of Loathing, which I've heard is very good, is a game on PC right now, and that's coming in the spring. And that's the only console it's coming to. That's like an RPG, but it's very like low graphics, like it's all stick figures and just like black and white. But supposedly it's very cool. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was really excited about. Banner Saga is apparently a game people love, but I have never played.
I was going to say, I've never played Banner Saga, but I hear a lot of good things about it, or like people seem to really love it. So
I remember they got sued by Candy Crush for using the word saga, and they won, and Candy Crush had to shut up.
Yeah, that seems dumb to me. You can't like copyright a word, right?
Yeah, it was very dumb. Well, there were also a lot of like trick things on the Play Store and the App Store where it was like instead of Candy Crush Saga, it would be like Gumdrop Crush Saga. And so I think they were trying to clamp down on like terrible clones, but also like the Banner Saga is like a legit game, and it like should be using the word saga because it's like about like Norse Vikings and stuff. But some good ones. I'm trying to remember. I don't think there was anything else I was super excited about. Really, like Hyper Light Drifter is the only thing that I will definitely get off of the things that they talked about.
I'm not like I've never played Luminous, but I know that was like a really popular arcade game for a long time. So I think people were fairly excited that that's coming to Switch. But I don't know. I haven't played it, so I can't speak to whether it's something I should be excited about or not. Otherwise, yeah, I think Hyper Light Drifter is probably the one I would be most excited about.
Everybody should buy it.
Yeah, and go watch our video about it if you haven't yet.
Yes, that will whet your appetite.
Okay, so also, this is not a Nindy, but I wanted to mention there is a new trailer out for the Persona 5 anime that's coming up. Did you see this?
No. So, like, do you think I would have had to play the game to watch the anime?
I don't think so. In fact, there was a time where I thought about just not playing Persona 5 because it's such a long game. And so I was like, well, maybe because I was interested in it after all the buzz it got last year. And so I was like, well, maybe I just wait until the anime comes out and I just watch that instead. But I ended up playing it over like the Christmas break, and I got really into it. Maybe I might still come back around and do that for a blind spotting because I think it's a really good game.
I am very interested in it, and if I had more time, I think I would definitely have got. The only thing I don't like about Persona games is the time management element. I feel like would really freak me out. That's one of the reasons. That's like the only reason I didn't like Stardew Valley. It's because I was very worried I was messing up every day.
Yeah, that is one of the things that made me hesitant to start Persona 5, and it's one of the things that keeps me from necessarily going back and playing a ton of Stardew Valley, because I really do enjoy Stardew Valley, but yeah, that time management thing always sort of, I don't know, stresses me out just a little bit.
This trailer looks crazy.
Yeah, so Persona 5 had an amazing art style, and like some of the cutscenes were like essentially full anime cutscenes, and then like you also had your like in-game asset graphics that they did some cutscenes with as well. It was kind of bizarre the way they sort of went back and forth between anime cutscene and like in-game asset cutscene, and like some of the cutscene with the in-game assets was voiced and some of it wasn't. It was just text. So they're kind of all over the place with that, which is why maybe the anime is going to end up being better. But as I was playing it, I was definitely like, man, this could be like a multi-season anime because each bad guy that you go after in the game is essentially its own arc. And so you could play, like, I could definitely see them putting together an anime show. And so the first arc is the first bad guy, and then you just kind of keep going from there. And it's actually happening. And the animation or the anime trailer looks really good. And I think, what is the release date? It's going to begin airing on April 7th.
I will probably watch this, actually. I watch a lot of anime, and I'm always looking for good stuff.
If you watch it, you might want to play the game.
It's a good point. I already kind of want to play the game. I just need to, like, take a pill beforehand so I don't stress out about it.
Yeah. I think it might be one that you would enjoy playing with your girlfriend. Because
yeah, she would. I think she likes slice of life type stuff.
Yeah, so that was one of the things I find most appealing about Persona 5 is that it feels like you're actually in Tokyo, and you're just kind of going around the city, and you get to hang out with people, and there's all the sort of relationship sim and like life sim stuff to the game.
I'm very into that.
Yeah, I got super into, and just kind of couldn't stop playing it because I was so into that stuff.
Did you beat it?
I did not yet, which is why I need to go back and play it again. and maybe do a blind spotting video on it. But
You should.
the combat wasn't my favorite. I think it's fine, and some people will love it, and maybe others won't. But I actually was way more into like the life sim stuff than the actual combat of the game. So there's that.
What's this PUBG weapon skins?
Oh yeah, so another piece of news that came out pretty recently is that they're going to be adding weapon skins to weapons. Or wait, did I already say that? Weapons? Skins for weapons in PUBG. And so I guess how it's going to work is you'll get them in like crates, and then when you go pick up a weapon, it'll kind of apply the skin that you have to it, and then
interesting.
If you die or drop the gun or somebody else picks it up, it'll still have the skin on it. But like until you pick it up, it'll just look like a normal gun, and then when you pick it up, it'll apply to it.
This is a good idea. I mean, it is kind of like a loot crate kind of a thing, but I'm pro any kind of like more customization in PUBG. Like the more unique you can make your character, the better, I feel like.
Yeah, since they don't really have like unlocks as you go, like for rank, I think this is a good alternative.
Exactly. They need more of this, like more stuff that like gives you. I mean, it's a very fun game, but if I was also like working to unlock specific things, I think it would be even more fun.
Yeah. So you know me, I'm all about a good like progression system or a sense of progression.
That's the one thing I know about you.
That is the only thing you've ever known about me, is that I love a good progression system, and I need to feel like the game is rewarding my time, and I'm not just like playing this and getting nothing out of it, or I have nothing to show for it. Right. So them adding stuff like this makes me more likely to want to go back and play it. So I'm all for this. I think it's good.
Excellent. Well, now on to new games out this week.
So Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered came out, I guess it'll be last week.
This is a game that probably not a lot of people have played.
Why do you say that?
Because I believe it was the last Assassin's Creed game to come out on last-gen consoles, and it came out like right when I think the France Assassin's Creed was coming out on PS4. So like a lot of people already had PS4s, and so they didn't really need a new Assassin's Creed PS3 game.
Oh, that's
so it was
right.
like a weird. It kind of got like I feel like it got delayed in development or something, and it just got released at a very bad time. But because of that, they basically have a new Assassin's Creed game that they're putting out that like probably not a lot of people have played. So if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, specifically Black Flag, I think this is like a semi-sequel to Black Flag, then you should definitely check this out.
Yeah, I didn't remember that, but yeah, that's a good point, especially since they're going to not be doing annual iterations of Assassin's Creed anymore. So Origins maybe like their main Assassin's Creed game or like for another year or two.
I heard a rumor about that, actually.
Oh, what's the rumor?
I heard we might see the first little pieces of the new Assassin's Creed game at E3, and it's going to be set in Greece.
Oh, really?
That's just a little birdie told me that.
This week, before Far Cry 5 went out or came out, Ubisoft's been doing a sale on Steam for a bunch of their games, and I saw Assassin's Creed Origins was on sale for like $35. And
yeah, can you believe that? It's crazy.
I was very close to buying it because I did want to play it. I just never got around to it, but I was like, I will not have time to play this, so I should not get it.
I'm sure it'll go on sale again in the summer.
Yeah, that's probably true. But yeah, a couple days before Far Cry 5, if it wasn't so close to Far Cry 5 coming out, I probably would have got it.
Far Cry 4 was like, I feel like Far Cry 4 was like $15 also.
Yeah, it was $12. I remember,
insane.
Which is, yeah, it's such a good deal. And then Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which is what I've been playing recently.
Yeah.
That game I think was maybe $10, probably $10. So yeah, there was a really good sale going on a lot of the Ubisoft games recently, so it's been crazy.
So Sea of Thieves was also out. We talked about that. And then Far Cry is out today as you're listening to this. What is... Oh, A Way Out. I forgot about that. That came out?
Yeah, so A Way Out came out last week as well, and that's that co-op game. I forget the name of the developers, but that guy that made that crazy speech about
Yeah.
about the Oscars and how much he hates them
The
during the
Oscars
Game
suck.
Awards. Yeah, he used more foul language than that, I think. But yeah, he's an interesting character. But the game he worked on, A Way Out, is that co-op game where you play as two guys who help each other break out of prison, and it's very like kind of old-fashioned like couch co-op style
Yeah, it's
game.
made to be couch co-opted.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can play it single player.
I don't believe that you can.
That's an interesting thing. It kind of made me think of. Do you remember Army of Two?
Yeah, I played that game. That was great.
Yeah, I played that in college with one of my roommates. I think we might have played both of them because they came out probably within a year or two of each other.
I like that you could go back to back in them.
Yeah, those are very cool games, and I liked that they were like specifically built for co-op, and this is kind of reminiscent of that. So it'd be, and I think it's only like a 6 to 8 hour campaign, and
Oh, really?
it's also only like $30 as well.
Ooh, I
So
should pick this up. I feel like this is a game I could play with my girlfriend as well.
yeah, for sure. I was gonna mention that. I was like, you guys might actually enjoy playing this together since it's cheap and it's all about couch co-op. So
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty. She is better at third-person games than she is at first-person games, but I'm trying to get her into more first-person experiences.
yeah, the more games you can get her to play, I guess.
It's true.
More experience. The last game we have to mention is coming out Wednesday of this
Long
week.
Gone Days. I have not heard of this.
So this is a game I'm kind of interested in. I only heard about it pretty recently, but it's this sort of anime art style role playing game
Ooh,
on
this
Steam.
is ticking a lot of boxes for me.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I think it's also like a first person shooter.
What?
It's crazy. Like if you haven't watched a video on this game, you need to. I think it's kind of. I think sometimes it's a top-down perspective, sometimes it's a first-person perspective, and it's a role-playing game that's kind of also a visual novel, or it has elements of that.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what the story is. I can't really describe that for you, but I think it's a really cool-looking game, and I really want to try it.
Ooh, yeah, this art style is very nice.
We'll link to a video for it so that you can also watch it if any
I
of
wanna
that
see
sounds
combat.
interesting.
I'm very interested in what combat looks like in this game because it seems like there's some exploration. I'm very interested in this. Man, how did I not know about this?
I only heard about it the other day as well. I was like, wow, that's coming out in like a couple days, and it seems really cool to me.
Yeah, this looks great.
So yeah, definitely check that out.
For sure. What's next? What do we got here? Mystery segment. Oh, yeah. I think we should. I want to prepare some things before we talk about this Epic Games CEO, what he talked about, because I have a whole thing I want to do on it. But we're talking about our game histories.
Oh yeah. So I mean, this can be as long or short as we want, but I thought it would be interesting, or just to kind of get nostalgic about our gaming history. And so like when I was a kid, we started with the NES and the Super NES, and I only like we only had like a few games. Like I didn't have like the internet to go and say, oh, look at this game coming out, I got to get this. And I didn't have like all those gaming magazines to be like, oh, check this game out, I need this game. So basically I would rely on whatever my parents knew to get, and that was always going to be like Mario. So I played all of those. I think Kirby's Adventure is the only like non-Mario NES game that I really remember playing much of. But most of my childhood was spent with the N64.
A classic console.
And I remember, so my brother's friend came over and he brought the N64 and GoldenEye, and my mind was blown. And so yeah, I would play that at like whenever we would go to a store, like the on the demo unit.
Hmm.
I would play that, and they always had the that facility mission, and that was like the demo that you could play.
Oh yeah.
And so that was really like the game that made me beg to get the N64, and we got that, and we would all play because I have a bunch of siblings, and we would play like Mario Kart, and we had Cruisin' World. Do you remember that game?
Oh yeah. That was a good one. I was more into Beetle Adventure Racing.
Yeah, one of my friends had that game, and we would play that a lot. But and also this other one, it was like Rush, San Francisco, or
Yeah, I remember that.
there was like a futuristic one that was like Rush 2048 or something like that.
Mm.
And they had this like battle mode, so we were into like the car battle modes, which led to like Burnout, and they had like I think it was Burnout 3 that had that mode where you could like
Crash.
yeah, it was all about trying to rack up the most damage or whatever.
That was so nice. I think that just got released in a remaster. One of those Burnout games.
Yeah, Burnout Paradise just came out as a remaster, and I really thought about getting it because just for nostalgia's sake, but I was like, nah, I don't have time for this. But also, I don't play that many racing games anymore. I played them a lot as a kid, but not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was mainly a Nintendo guy up until the 360. And I remember the GameCube I got, I think for Christmas, and I got like Super Smash Bros. Melee and Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
Classic.
So yeah, those were like, and I think Time Splitters 2 was like,
Oh man, those games were so good.
yeah, I still want them to make another Time Splitters game.
I think a lot of people want that because the multiplayer was so fun too.
Yeah. And you could you could make your own maps, and you could turn on bots and have as many as you wanted basically.
You could be a monkey.
Yeah, you could play as a monkey. Like that game was amazing.
True. That's a blind spotting. I wonder if we can get those on PC.
That's a good question. We should look into that. But the other games that I played on the, I guess it wasn't on GameCube, but it was that era, was the Star Wars Battlefront games. My brother had a PS2, so I played those with him, and I was able to convince my parents to get me an original Xbox when Battlefront 2 came out. That was towards the end of the life cycle, actually.
Yeah.
But my friends were all about Halo, and so I was like, well, I can't play Halo on my GameCube.
Yeah, man.
So, but once we moved on to the 360, that was when I was really converted to the next gen consoles or whatever. And the cool thing about them was being able to play online.
Yeah, it's so commonplace now.
Yeah, you don't really think about it, but it was like a real change of pace. Like I spent so much time in pretty much every console before that playing multiplayer games against like bots. That playing against other humans was kind of really crazy to me. And we talked, I guess, maybe a little bit about it, where my online shooter history started with like Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2, and then I went to like Call of Duty. And I guess you're more of a Halo guy.
It's true.
But anyway, and then because Microsoft botched the Xbox One reveal at E3 and that whole thing, I asked you, and we decided we were going to go PS4 this generation.
That was such a bad press conference. They did so many things wrong, and then PlayStation came out and they were like, guess what? This! And everyone was blown away.
Well, yeah, so they had Kinect, which nobody wanted.
No.
It was going to be $100 more expensive than PS4, and like games were going to be like tied to the system, so you like couldn't share them.
And you couldn't sell back games.
Yeah. There's so many.
Also, there was a thing where like someone was like, what if I want to play my game and I don't have an internet connection? And somebody was just like, don't buy an Xbox.
Oh yeah. I think, wasn't it like maybe the head of Xbox that was like, just keep playing on the 360.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, really?
Some idiot.
It was like someone pretty important to Microsoft and
crazy.
the Xbox. And he was like, oh, if that's the case, just don't buy an Xbox One, just play 360. And like, well,
and then like the top people at Sony were like, hey, here's how you share games on the new PlayStation. And it was just a picture of them handing a game to someone.
That was a great video. It was like the two guys that were doing like the E3 press conference for Sony, and they were like, "This is how you share a game on PS4." And he like hands the game to the other guy, and they both like bow, and they're like, "That's it." So yeah, they botched it pretty hard, but also the original Xbox One was underpowered compared to the PS4 as well.
That's true. They also won in that regard.
So yeah, they've been playing catch up ever since. But yeah, that's the short history.
You forgot the most recent thing, Zach.
What's the most recent thing? Oh yeah, and then most recently I got a gaming PC, which my first ever last summer, and
You're a pro now.
Well, I'm trying to learn how to play games with mouse and keyboard. I'm not always good at it. So, tell us briefly about your gaming history.
I don't remember ever asking for it, but my parents got us a Genesis when I was a child. So I grew up playing like Sonic and Golden Axe and things like that. And we would go to Blockbuster and rent stuff. And then I also don't remember asking for an N64, but I got that on a birthday. And I played like Zelda. And I think the first game I ever played for it was that first 3D Castlevania, which was fine. But obviously Zelda was the one to get. And then I think the first console I actually asked for was a PlayStation. And I got a PlayStation and GTA 3. Or was GTA 3 on PlayStation or PlayStation 2?
I want to say that was PlayStation 2.
Maybe the only games I played on PlayStation 1 were like Final Fantasy games. Because I played Final Fantasy 7 a lot.
Yeah, so I've actually never played the Final Fantasy games because I never owned a PlayStation up until the PS4.
That's something we should do a video on.
Yeah.
But anyway, PS2 came out, and I got GTA, which was great. And then I jumped over to 360 because all of my friends were playing Halo. And I had 360 for a long time, and then...
So hold on, did you start Halo with Halo 3 then?
Yeah, we like when I was in high school, we would just like go over to people's houses and play Halo 1 and 2 on like other people's consoles. Like we would have big LAN parties.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I got to jump on board for this new Halo because we were all going to college.
Right.
So I got that, and I played like Skyrim on my 360 and a bunch of other stuff. That was a great long lifespan console.
Yeah, it felt like that generation was going to last forever.
Yeah. And then I got that Destiny made me get that PS4, and I haven't looked back. And somewhere in there I also got a gaming PC, but that was also like 5 or 6 years ago, so it's like showing its age. So generally I play stuff on, like I'm going to get Far Cry on console instead of PC. But old like indie games I can still play on computers.
Yeah.
But that's a long and short of it. I can go into more in-depth in another episode.
Yeah. So what would you say is your favorite, or maybe your top 5 of the 360 generation?
Oh, both of us forgot that we also own Switches.
Oh yeah, we got Switches. I don't know. I feel like there hasn't been anything out recently that I want to play on Switch, so I haven't even touched it. And
yeah, Mario was the last big thing.
Like I know Kirby came out recently. We probably could have mentioned that in games out, but yeah, the only Kirby game I've ever played is Kirby's Adventure on NES when I was really young.
Man,
and I liked that game, but
I played the N64 one.
Oh, did you?
What were you saying? The best, favorite 360 thing?
Yeah, what is either your favorite 360 game or I guess like a top 5? You don't have to necessarily crown one of them the best.
I mean, I played a lot of Skyrim back in the day. I know that's a boring answer, but like,
Well, I was going to
recently,
say,
I was playing through a little bit of Skyrim on PC the other day, and just like the music is like so nostalgic for me, and it really reminds me of just like sitting on a giant couch and just like spending hours exploring.
it is. Yeah, same thing. Like Skyrim is probably one of my top 5 games of all time.
Yeah.
And I played a bunch of it on 360, but I don't think I ever finished it. But then the remaster came out on PS4 like a year or two ago, and I rebought it, and I must have spent over 100 hours in it again.
Yeah, I'm thinking about buying like the definitive edition on PC because I have the standard edition on PC, but the next Steam sale, I think I'm gonna get all the DLCs and start a new character, and because I never did any of that like Dragonborn or like the vampire one.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get it again, so I can play that stuff. And I still
I
haven't
hear it's
gotten
really
around
good.
to it, but it's there. I can do it. Also, it's
Someday.
on Switch now.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's also on Switch.
We could play
with
it
all
on
the
Switch.
DLCs.
Yep. But yeah, anyway, what were the other games in your top 5?
I have to think about that. What about next episode? We have a top 5 for 360 generation, both of us, because I feel like I need to curate that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we'll save that for next time.
So, are you playing anything else right now as we close out this episode?
I finished Far Cry Blood Dragon
Nice.
in preparation for Far Cry 5. That
Oh
game,
yeah, just under the wire.
it was so good. I still really wish Far Cry 5 was just full on Blood Dragon, but
Yeah. The guy who made Blood Dragon just left Ubisoft.
oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that's not good timing then. Huh? Maybe he'll go and make like not Far Cry, but like that style of game somewhere else.
That would be great. We can only hope.
Yeah, so I've also been playing PUBG Mobile, which isn't necessarily exciting, but it's exciting because it's new and I can actually play with my brother, whereas if I play it on Steam, he cannot join. So, and I guess the other night, I don't remember why, but I was like, I think there's an update to Star Wars Battlefront 2. I should jump in and see if it's been updated and what's new. And also, like, I don't care how bad I do in the multiplayer of that. So it's an all right way of maybe teaching myself how to get good with keyboard and mouse. So I played that for a couple hours the other day. And
I bet that looks beautiful on your computer.
oh, it really, really does. That's the one thing you cannot say about Battlefront 2 is that it doesn't look good. Because the graphics in that game are amazing.
Well, I have been playing a game that does not have good graphics, but I've been playing that Ion Maiden, which we tried to do a video on it like 3 times, and just like different technical things were getting in the way. But eventually we will do a video on it. But it's a really cool game, built on the same engine that Duke Nukem 3D was built on, the Build engine. And they released like a preview campaign that's not like, it's kind of a prologue to the actual game that's going to come out later in the year. But I've been playing through that a lot and just trying to like refine and find all the secrets and get better at it. But we'll probably do a video on that maybe this week, so I'll TBD on that. We'll leave that until later in the week.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm curious to see more from that game because every time I've seen a little bit of it from when you've been playing it, it does look pretty cool, and
It's very fun. It's very fast paced.
Yeah, and I'm all about like nostalgia stuff. So
For sure. Well, later in the week, maybe we'll, if we don't
If
get
we're-
completely consumed by Far Cry.
yeah, exactly. If we're not too busy playing Far Cry 5 to do literally anything else.
All right. Well, this wraps it up for episode 2.
The Attack of the No. We decided we weren't going to do that. That's right. Yeah, so join us next week and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
That's right.
I think we're just at Starside Cafe. I'm pretty sure.
And if you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at starsidecafe@gmail.com.
Yeah, if there's something you want to see us cover for blind spotting or for just to play on our channel or talk about on the podcast, either way.
Let us know. Goodbye.
Goodbye.